Hey everybody, how you doing? Good evening and welcome. I guess we are live now, so we're good to go. Good evening and welcome to another edition of Step Chat. For those of you that I've not had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Steve Jones. I am the executive producer of Float, and I thank you for joining me here on Super Bowl Sunday. I have a surprise for you, but I'm going to wait until give it about 5 or 10 minutes to see who actually comes in on the call. Hello, Matt Russell. Good to see you. Matt is always like the very first one to get out here. Wow, I'm surprised there's already like 14 people watching this. Wow. So either you really hate football or you like me. Oh, how sweet. Hello, and oh my God, Angie. Good to see you. Hi there. Hi, Debbie Levy. How are you? Always a pleasure. Good to see you guys. Thank you for coming out here and joining me tonight on another Sunday night. Hello, Carolyn Avery. Nice to see you too. I'm going to keep an eye on this. We always go through this. Like I said, I have a surprise for everybody. I'm going to share it in about 5 minutes or so. Yeah, there's that. So hello, Teresa Harding. Good to see you, T-Money, the star of TMI every Monday night right here in the Float Group. Hello, Jenny Prieto. Hello there. And Miss Stephanie, nice to see you. Thank you very much for coming in. Kathy Castlebarth, hello to you. Yeah, today was a fun morning. I walked in this morning and Roscoe was a little more excitable than normal. And I got here really early today. And it was just funny because let me back up. So if you've not yet gone to Alexa's page, Alexa posted the absolute single most adorable photo of Roscoe, I think, to date. Hello, Lisa McIntyre. Alexa was inspired by my trip to Disney. She has her own ears that she's had since she was like a teenager. And it's the original, like the old school Mickey Mouse Club ears with her own name embroidered on the back. So she actually went and got Roscoe his own ears made on Etsy. And it's embroidered on the back. Hello, Flo. Good to see you. So she got pictures of her and Roscoe wearing matching Disney ears. It's adorable. So Roscoe's wearing mouse ears, Mickey Mouse ears in the picture, right? Less than 24 hours later, I walk into the shop and Roscoe's all excited, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I do the whole petting routine that we do in the morning when I pet him and Skittles when I first come in. And then I swear to God, I go into the bathroom, I come back out of the bathroom, and Roscoe has caught a mouse. And he's like showing it off, like, look. So literally, he's never caught a mouse ever. And within 24 hours of him wearing Mickey Mouse ears, he catches a mouse. So it's almost like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be after here in the shop. So it was just so funny. So basically, we have this running, and now Alexa. Oh my God, Alexa has never been more proud of Roscoe right now. Let me just tell you, it's all like all day long. Roscoe the mouse hunter. It's the funniest thing. It's adorable. But anyway, the truth of the matter is, I don't think he meant to kill the mouse. Knowing Roscoe, he was playing with it. He just played with it too hard and killed it. Or he found it. And like, hey, you're supposed to move, kind of a thing. But either way, I'm good. It's just funny because when we moved in here in the first place, that's the one thing we thought of was that Roscoe would be really good to help keep the mice away. Because again, we are in a very rural area. I mean, we're in the middle we're in the foothills of the Cascade Mountains. So basically, we're in a very heavily wooded area. We're in a mountain town, basically, is what we are. We're not super high up, but we're in the foothills, like I said. But it's a mountain-esque type town. And so there's a lot, mice here are a legitimate thing, especially in the winter. And we're starting to see them more and more now in the trap in the bathroom. We have a trap in the sink. And, what was every couple of months is now about once a week. So they're looking for a place to be warm and all that fun stuff. And so, but we always joke that Roscoe's job would be to help keep them away. And of course, it took him months before he actually got one. So we're very proud of him. Okay, so I promised everybody I have a surprise for you tonight, and I do. So the fact that you guys are here with me, well, first of all, I shouldn't judge. I'm not judging anybody. If you're watching the Super Bowl, God love you. Good for you. It's a huge American cultural thing. I normally watch it. I do. Admittedly, I don't care as much about it when the Seahawks aren't in it. But I normally enjoy it, but I kind of disconnected myself from regular television a couple years ago. So now it's like, it's just not that big of a deal. I'll watch the commercials tomorrow on YouTube or whatever, and I'm fine. But if you live in Kansas City, if you live in Tampa Bay, or you're just a massive football fan who lives for the Super Bowl, I hope you're having a great time. If you're in Kansas City or the Tampa Bay area, I hope to God you made some good money this week off those teams in one capacity or another. But I have a surprise for you. Those of you that are here on Step Chat tonight, there's a special coupon just for you, okay? So if you go to the Float website, which is floatconvention.com, and go to the Orange store, right, which is floatconvention.com/orange-store, okay? If you go there, hello, Angela. If you go there, any of the Float classes that are listed on the Orange store, if you use the coupon code football, you will get 50% off, just like the 50-yard line. You'll get 50% off that video until the game is over, okay? So that coupon is active right now. Hello, Harley. That coupon is active right now. So if you go to floatconvention.com/orange-store, if you missed any of our Float Foundation classes and you want a screaming opportunity to grab them, now's your chance. You've got until the end of the game. The code word is football. The coupon code is football. So type in football and you can save 50% off any of those classes between now and the end of the game. So if Tom Brady wins his 7th Super Bowl, or if the Chiefs repeat Super Bowl champions, whichever happens, whoever you're rooting for, I'm hoping for you. But if you're not, and you're looking for a deal, there's your deal right now. Take advantage of it beforehand. And no, this is not officially endorsed by the NFL or the Super Bowl or anything else. But that is going on. So basically, if you're watching me right now during the replay, you missed it. So there you go. We know who loves me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm totally joking. But no, so there we go. So I do have some Float stuff to go over tonight. I got some personal stuff to go over tonight. So let's get to it. First of all, I want to remind everybody about the Float Foundation stuff. If you are, hello, Betsy Gonzalez, good to see you. If you signed up for Dante's class, if you took Dante's class in January, this is the last week. This is the last week that you have for the free replay, okay? So you have hello, Sarah Rivera. You have 1 week left for the free replay. It ends on Saturday, okay? So February 13th is your last chance to watch Dante's class for free. Now, before you fill me up with an inbox full of, Steve, this isn't fair. It's the night before Valentine's Day. We're so busy, blah, blah, blah. You've had a month. You've had a month. Hello, Charlie Soria. Good to see you. You've had a month. I don't know what more to tell you on that. You had a month. So I've already gotten emails this week from people like, this isn't fair. You need to give us more time. No, because if you remember correctly, you used to get 2 weeks and now you get 4. I'm already giving you twice as much time. I understand that it's the night before Valentine's Day. I'm sorry. You can't tell me in the course of 4 weeks you didn't have an hour. You can't tell me you didn't have an hour. In 2 weeks, you can't really tell me you didn't have an hour. But I'm kind of like, okay, if I hit a really bad time, or heaven forbid, say you had COVID, you didn't feel good, or whatever. Whatever the reason was, 2 weeks, I could kind of see it. That's why we extended it to 4 weeks. And 4 weeks, you cannot tell me you didn't have an hour. So that's it. Thank you for the update, Charlie. Yeah, I knew it was 21.6 at one point, or 21 something. Hello, Celeste Davis. Good to see you. So yeah, there you go. No. Now, I'm also getting people messaging me right and left going, Steve, I need the coupon for Dante's video for $5. That comes after the replay's over. I've had like 4 people in the last 24 hours messaging me about that coupon code. I'm like, dude, you're too early. It's not yet. It starts on Valentine's Day and you got a week. And you'll get another email. And that's the thing that people need to understand. This is what gets me about this whole situation. There's an email sent out. There was an email sent on January 15th about Dante's class now being available as a stream. 2 weeks later, there was another email sent. Last week, there was an email sent to remind you that you had a week left. And then there's another email scheduled for, I think, Thursday to remind you one last time, you got a couple days left. So you've been contacted 4 times about this, okay? 4 times you're going to be reminded that this is your timeline. Nobody has an excuse of I didn't know. Nobody has an excuse. And we're posting stuff in the group too. So guys, at some point you gotta be grown-ups and you gotta start, you gotta do this. So yeah, so there's that. Melissa, there's one. Somebody just bought a video right there using the exclusive coupon code right here, available now. Good for you, Miss Stephanie. Thank you. I don't. Still watching the massacre at the Super Bowl. Hello, Christy Carpenter. Good to see you, as always. Yeah, it's funny. I kind of was rooting. I'm kind of rooting for Tom Brady, to be honest with you, because I couldn't stand Bill Belichick. And I can't stand Patriot fans for the most part because they're so arrogant. And so nothing would make me so happier than to see Tom Brady win again without the Patriots. Because to me it says, was it really Belichick? So there you go. Okay, hold on. Devora, I'm scared to ask. Oh, dear God. Really? Scared? Really? If you weren't in the forum making obnoxious posts, there's no reason for you to be scared. But I seem to recall there being different prices for classes for those registered for 2022. That is correct. But I'm getting to that with Melissa right now. So there we go. Melissa Vinson's class is scheduled for February 23rd. The deadline to enroll for that class is 5 p.m. on February 21st, which is Sunday, which is an hour before Step Chat. So you still got a couple weeks to get registered for that class. Yes, Devorah, there is absolutely a coupon code that is available. I will post it again tomorrow in the forum for those individuals that are eligible for it. If you are not fully paid for float, you're not part of the forum. So in other words, if you're just pre-registered for float and you are you want to know what the code is, you just send me a message and I'll be happy to tell you. Okay. So that's perfectly fine. So there you go. Yeah, so there's that. Melissa's class, of course, is Gear Up for Graduation. So it's all about graduation stuff. And again, we are expecting another huge graduation season. In fact, we're expecting a bigger one this year than we had last year, based on, drive-by celebrations, based on the drive-through graduations, based on car parades and the whole 9 yards. We're gearing up for it. We're getting ready for it. So yeah, there's that. And then I want to remind everybody, if you are at least pre-enrolled for Float 2022, if you are at least pre-enrolled, you will receive an invitation to an absolutely 100% free class in March. Okay? Our Jeff Kelly from Asset Lab is offering a free class on supercharging your website. He is a web expert. It is not a sales pitch class. I'm sorry, it's not. Everybody knows. Again, I've talked about this before. If you've existed through COVID at all, hello, Betsy. If you've existed through COVID at all, you've been invited to free webinars and all kinds of stuff. And you go out there and there's this much knowledge and then this much sales pitch. And it's basically, so here's the secret to better health. Hydration is truly important. Now, if you want to know more, come check out this program, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's not that. This is not that. Jeff is not that kind of guy. In fact, that's how we met. I actually went to a free class that Jeff offered. And Jeff did nothing but put out actual content, actual information that we could use. And then at the end of class, he said, oh, and by the way, if you are ever interested in having somebody do your website, I'd love to speak to you about it. That was the extent of his sales pitch. That was it. And that's all it took. Alexa and I both looked at each other and said, you know what? This guy's far more better at this than we are. Maybe where our business is at a point now where he can pass this off to somebody else. And obviously, we feel good about Jeff and his abilities because he's going to be taking over the Float website very soon. So, yeah. So I'm very happy about that. So I would definitely look into that class. Again, if you're eligible, it's free. So now, what I will tell you is it's not going to have probably the full 4 week period, replay period. It might be shorter. I don't know. I have to look at it still. So we're looking at that one. Okay. All right. So there's all of that. So that's what's going on with the Float Foundation right now. Now let's talk about something else that's kind of exciting. And since Teresa's out here tonight, let's talk about that. So you may remember last Float Convention, 2019, we started something. All of these shows and everything else really started with one thing that Tony and I came up with. We called it the flotation device, and it was like an interview show where Tony was into podcasting really heavily. So Tony was doing these interview podcasts and things, where he would interview teachers and do that kind of thing. Well, it turns out that Tony's adopted sister, Teresa Harding, and he have decided to team up for the future. So from now on, you're going to start getting episodes very soon of the flotation device with TNT, Tony and Teresa. So they're going to team up together and interview floats instructors that are coming your way in 2022. So that's going to be something very fun. And there's also the possibility of another podcast coming your way. It might be kind of familiar though. So Sarah Meyer reached out about the possibility of me doing one with kind of not in partnership with her, but her helping out the technical end, because I don't need another project. I just don't. Basically, what she's talking about is basically editing down Step Chat into a podcast. Personally, I would almost rather say, hey, there's Kathy. There's another order. There's another order. Football coupon. Good job. I'm kind of thinking maybe there's another topic or something, but at the same time, again, I don't need another project. So you might start seeing Step Chat released as a regular podcast as well. So just different ways that we can reach new audiences and what have you. So those are things in the works right now that are coming soon. The TNT, the flotation device is absolutely in the works. There's no doubt about it. The other one is still up in the air. Hello, Susie Marrero, and hello, Marissa Matthews. Good to see you both. So yeah, that's what we're looking at right now, as far as that goes. So I'm excited about it and looking forward to it. So yeah, there's that. Now, don't ask me a lot of details on. I know that Tony runs his podcast through his own server thing, because he's got his own pre-float, everything else. Tony would do. He's involved in a improv comedy group called Man Candy, and they do stuff every Monday night. So he already had a system in place for that. So basically, for him to roll over into this was just literally rolling over into this. So we're excited about that. And like I said, I know very little to nothing. I actually bought the gear to do a podcast like a year and a half ago, to be honest with you. But it just kind of sat in a box, and now I might actually use it. So there you go. Okay, a couple other things I want to go over really quickly before we get to until we get the personal stuff. But we have a couple more float bits of information for you all. First of all, I announced last week that we officially have a new office manager working with Float. She is my niece, my adult niece. Her name is Aphrodite Gonzalez. She's out here in the Float group now. You're going to start seeing her tagged in a lot more posts and things that I make. Because her training started last week. As she gets more and more involved in the day-to-day operation of this stuff, she's going to take over more and more of the day-to-day type questions and things. So what's going to start happening is you're going to start, okay. Say you messaging me with a question, okay? First of all, the emails are not going to come from me anymore. The emails are going to come from info@floatconvention.com. They're not going to come from steve@floatconvention.com anymore. They're going to come from info. So that way, when you respond, you're responding to Aphrodite. Okay? So let's think about that for one. Number two, if you try to start bypassing Aphrodite and coming to me directly, I'm probably going to start responding to you with info. Because the reality is what I'm trying to do, for those of you that just simply are not aware, all of this COVID stuff that we have to deal with float, or potentially deal with float, is not light by any means. And just because the COVID policy is now in effect, that doesn't mean we're done. I now have room plotting to do. I have hallway plotting to do. I have competition plotting to do. I have vendor plotting to do. I have all kinds of things to buy and all kinds of things to order and research to do on different pieces of equipment and things now that we have to look into. And to say nothing of the fact that I want to continue to be creative in the process of float. I want to be able to continue to draft the emails up. I want to come up with new ideas for fun activities and parties and functions that we can do now and we can do then. These are all things that I enjoy doing. The problem is the stuff I'm not enjoying is the mundane, busy work, the constant, what is my balance? All answering the same questions 8 times a day, that, to 12 to 8 different people. It wears on you after a while. And then hello, Gabby Rivera. And then of course, what also gets me, to be completely honest, are the people that don't understand that you're one of 500. Float's attendance last year was 525. People will ask me a question, and then a week later, I won't necessarily remember what we talked about, and they get angry with me that return. I'm like, guys, look, you're one of 500 something people that I'm trying to keep track of. It's not that I don't care. It's not that I don't give a crap about what you're saying. It's that I can't. My brain bucket can only hold so much, and as a result, sometimes stuff spills out through the ears and through the nose, and a lot of stuff falls out the mouth. But you know what I'm saying. So I hope you understand. Because so Aphrodite's being trained to take over a lot of that stuff. And but I also want to tell you that she's not as warm and fuzzy as I am about things. Somebody wrote the very first question that she got, by the way, was sent to me, and I forwarded it. I said, here you go. This is the first one. And it was a complaint about Dante's class, in that you should extend the date because February 13th is a lousy date. And so she's like, how would you handle this? And I was on the phone with her, and I said, well, what I would say is that your first email was sent on January 15th. You've had 4 weeks to watch this video. I'm sorry, but I think 4 weeks is enough time to spend an hour. And she was like, okay. And then she forwarded me what she sent back. And what she sent back is, thank you for your inquiry. The deadline is February 13th. If you have any more questions, let me know. And that was it. I was like, boom. So my problem is I can't be that person, because if I become that person, then I'm a jerk. This way I can still be nice. Works for me. So anyway, and you're welcome, Gabby. I'm really, really happy to do it. And yes, Sarah, I'm loving it too. By the way, we got a lot more people on the call right now. So I want to remind everybody that for those of you that actually tuned in to watch me tonight, as opposed to necessarily watching the Super Bowl, there's a special coupon just for you. If you go to the Float website at floatconvention.com and you go to the orange store, right, where you buy the t-shirts, where you sign up for the classes and stuff. If you scroll down, there's all of these classes for Float that we've had, the foundation classes and even some convention classes. Right now, if you purchase any of those classes, there's a coupon code, football. Use that code and you'll get 50% off any of those Float classes. Now, obviously, it's not good for Dante yet, because Dante's class isn't available till Valentine's Day. And I'm promising you that the moment that game's over, that coupon code is gone. So if you want to take advantage of that and get yourself a hell of a deal right now on those Float Foundation classes, it's because I love you for being here with me tonight. So thank you very much. So hello, Mariella. Is it Mariella? Is that how I say that? Mariella Garza. Mariella, is that? I want to make sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. But hi, nice to see you. So yeah, again, the code is football. The coupon code is football. So there you go. I want to remind everybody now that we've got a lot more viewers than we had 20 minutes ago. Okay. Okay, good. I'm glad I got it right, Mariella. Thank you. So there's one more thing that I want to talk about tonight. Some unpleasant Float stuff that I want to talk about tonight. It's not officially out, obviously, but I think it's a no-brainer at this point. Before I get to the personal stuff. More and more, it is looking like float is going to have a masking policy. Again, I sincerely hope we don't have to deal with it then, but medical experts are now suggesting that masking is going to be encouraged for a couple of years. I can assure you, with about Sarah Rivera in the fourth quarter just started. I can assure you that if we're allowed to have a 500 to 700 person event in January, I guarantee you the CDC is going to say then people have to be masked. I just cannot not see it at this point. It's, believe me, it's not something I'm looking forward to. One of the things that I told Alexa just recently after I got back from my vacation is that I have been so ridiculously fortunate through all of this COVID stuff that for the most part, I've been able to work here every day without a mask on. Alexa and I, we're not a couple. We're, whatever. She has her apartment. I live in the house, like whatever. But we only associate with each other. So with that being said, we're completely fine working together mask free, right? Just like you would with your family. I mean, it's that kind of a thing. So Gabby, I'll get to that in just a second. At Disney last week or 2 weeks ago when I was there, or a week and a half ago, whatever. That was the first time in all of COVID I've had to wear a mask for 8 to 12 hours a day. And even though you get used to it after a while, and I didn't, after a while, I even forgot it was on half the time. I mean, especially when I was on some of the rides, I didn't even think about it. I mean, you're not even thinking about it, right? I'm just enjoying it. But the reality is, and thank you for that, Christy. Thank you. That makes me very happy to hear you say something like that. That you get excited about the process. I just remember thinking how fortunate I've been through this whole thing that I haven't had to do that all the time. But if I gotta do it, I gotta do it. That's it. And I want to talk about this now. Hannah True, we need float masks. That's one of the things I'm currently pricing. I'm actually working with different. I've got samples coming in right now from about 6 different companies on masks. So we're trying to get one that is actually comfortable and this and that. We just don't want to buy just any mask here, that kind of thing. We've already decided that regardless of where we are with COVID, that every tote bag would have a mask in it anyway, just because of what we've gone through. It'd almost be symbolic, right? But now it looks like it's going to be a thing. So yeah, we are obviously getting masks for float that will be branded for float. Now with the logo, yes. And not the specific convention logo, not the Phoenix logo, but the generic float logo, because heaven forbid we have to do this 2 years from January. There's that. And I hate to say it, it's a possible thing. Now, I know that there are some of you watching this video that are very much an anti-masker, and I get it, and I really do. I don't believe that people should have to get a vaccine if they don't want one. At the same time, believe it or not, I don't feel like people should have to wear a mask if they don't want to either. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. And this is where I get head to head with a lot of people. I've spoken to some of the people I've spoken to that are really anti-maskers are like, look, I don't want to wear a mask. I hate wearing a mask. I think it's ridiculous. But if I'm coming to float and that's the rule, that's what I'm gonna do. And I appreciate that. And that means a lot to me. And then there's other people that have said, you can't make me, this is America, blah, 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 blah. Here's the problem that I have with that very statement. Yes, this is America. We live in a free country. We absolutely do. And I'm very proud of that fact. And in your home, you make every decision that you want to live the way you want to live. And if you don't believe that people should have to wear a mask, that's your right. And if you believe that when you're at your home and you're in your car and you're wherever you are in your personal space, if you feel that you shouldn't have to do that, then God bless America. I agree with you 100%. Okay. I do. I agree with you 100%. If you go to a public area, if you go to, I don't know, I didn't even know, well, it would either be privately owned or government owned. You're in the middle of the woods somewhere and you don't want to wear a mask and there's a masking mandate. I think you shouldn't have to wear a mask. Okay. But here's the thing. Those same people, I'm American, who believe that they don't have to wear a mask because it's against their rights or whatever. You're now walking into a private business, and then you walk into a private business. You can't tell me what to do. Yes, you can, because that business is privately owned. Your personal rights do not supersede the right of the business. Just like I can't come into your home and tell you what to do, you can't come into my business and tell me what to do. And folks, Float, at the end of the day, is my house. And that's, I know for a fact, that the vast majority of people that are signing up for Float even today are okay with the masking policy because they know at the end of the day, it's to keep everybody safer. Hannah brought it up. It's not about necessarily protecting you, it's about protecting others. Even if you've had the vaccine, you still could be carrying around the virus and you still could be passing it on to other people. And that's what the masking policy is about. That's what it is. So let's just try to remember that and be nice and be done. I get very frustrated when I hear people. I get very frustrated when I hear people do this stuff, and you're right. I mean, and Devora, you're right. Nobody likes wearing them. I hate wearing them. I do. And here's the other thing too. I've always compared, because people are like, well, they're not going to stop. I mean, look at doctors. They when they're in bodysuits and everything else. And how is a mask going to help you? Here's how I see it. When you get in your car, you wear a seatbelt, right? Is a seatbelt going to save your life in every accident? Absolutely not. You could be wearing your seatbelt and still have your head cut off. Seatbelt's not going to stop you from getting your head cut off. But wearing a seatbelt is going to dramatically increase your ability to survive a car accident. I'm a firm believer that wearing a mask is going to protect you to at least some degree from catching COVID. I do. I believe it. And so as a result, and my lawyer said the same thing. And my lawyer told me, if we don't have a masking policy and there's even the hint that the CDC is still recommending it, you're in deep doo-doo. So, and if you sat in on Working Wonders the other night, you met my lawyer because Mary Ellen Riesland is my lawyer. And yeah, so there you go. So now what I will say really quickly is back in May of last year, when we launched the 75 for 75 campaign, there was no indication whatsoever that anybody was going to have to wear a mask at Float 2022. Okay. Again, I'm not saying right now that that policy is going to be in place yet, but I'm telling you right now, it's probably 85% chance that masking will be in place at Float. Okay. If you are one of those individuals that signed up for Float during the 75 for 75 campaign and you absolutely will not wear a mask at Float, I have no problem refunding you 100% right now. Okay. Because I'm telling you, right, it's going to take a miracle at this point for us not to have to wear masks at Float. So if you are one of those individuals, because again, and the reason I'm doing it is not to be a jerk, to not anything else. The reason I'm doing it is because when you signed up for Float, you put money down on an event where the terms have changed. Okay. Because I firmly believe that. I firmly believe that you are You signed up under these terms, and at no time was there a discussion about a masking policy because we didn't think there was going to be one. Then a year later, or 8 months later, boom, now there's a good song possibility of a masking policy. I didn't agree to that. You're right. When you signed up for 75 for 75, you're right. You didn't. I will gladly refund your money because you can't come to float and flaunt your personal opinion in front of 500 people. Can't do it. And there will be, I mean, we will have a policy in place to eject people that refuse to follow this policy. I've actually been speaking to the hotel, and my next conversation is with the local police department. What are my legal options if I have someone? What can I do if I have someone that is absolutely refusing to wear a mask? Who the hell is calling me from Iowa? But there's that. So just throwing that out there. Just want everybody to start absorbing it and taking it in. Oh, by the way, if you signed up for float after the 75 for 75 plan, then you really, you got no leg to stand on, because we've been talking about masking. We've been talking about COVID and the possibility of COVID rules since July and August. So if you signed up after the 75 for 75 program, you don't have that luxury. You can't turn around and say, I'm not going to wear a mask. Well, then you are going to lose your $75 payment, because when you signed up, there was a warning on there that COVID might affect the results of the convention. So there's that. Gabby Rivera asked a question a ways back in this conversation, so I'm going to get back to her. And that conversation, or the question, was about the hotel rooms. Thank you, Christy. I just saw that message come in, and I will respond to that because I felt the same way you did. Sorry, I just got sidetracked. Gabby Rivera's question. Gabby asked about the hotel rooms. She said, Stephen, you said that the hotel rooms would be available mid-February. When will we know? I'm actually happy to tell you that the hotels are available now. However, it involves a link that you will be sent on Tuesday. So everybody involved will get a link on Tuesday. Hello, Robin. Good to see you again. Everybody will get the link to the hotel rooms on Tuesday. Okay, so you can start booking your rooms then. I'm telling you right now, it's going to fill up fast. I really think it is. And I have to speak to my headhunter first. I'm a little concerned. We were originally going to ask and the hotel was, of course, now eager to possibly offer us more rooms, because, their whole thing is what time Tuesday? I believe the email goes out at 6 a.m. my time, which would be 9 a.m. Eastern time. I believe that's when it's scheduled to go out, because I've already made it, and I've already sent it to Aphrodite so she could review it and see it. And I'm going to talk about this in just a second. Okay, Andress is asking about the gala. We're not even going to go there tonight. We're not even going to go there tonight. By the way, Teresa, at 6:37. We're not going anywhere on actual events yet until we know. Now I know who called me from Iowa. We're not going anywhere near procedural events yet until we know what's happening. Okay, so that's just a thing right now. There's that. Again, procedural stuff can't be decided upon until like November. God damn it. Sorry. We can't possibly do anything until we know when or what the actual policies are going to be. I think I mentioned this on Float Friday. If we can't do a 500 person opening night, we actually have a really cool concept plan that I'm very proud of. And we are doing an opening night parade. And I'm really proud of it because you guys are the paraders. and I've got this whole thing all the way around and blah 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 and this and that. Um, Carolyn Avery, only fully paid can register. Fully paid can register for what? I don't know what you mean specifically as far as fully register. Um, Carolyn, could you expand on your question, please? Um, Question: if we reserve a hotel room, what is the cancellation policy? Okay, that's a great question. That's actually going to be my topic, my FAQ for tomorrow. So let's do it now. Um, yeah, a parade. I'm really excited about this. Um, uh, Hotel. Okay, hotel. Only full. Oh, yes. That okay. So to answer Carolyn's question, yes, you must be fully paid and registered for the convention in order to book a hotel room. We are not running into the problem we ran into last year, where all of these non-attendees booked rooms thinking, oh, this is the year I'm going to go. This is the year I'm going to go. And then they all canceled at the last second. We're not doing that. You must be fully registered. Yep, that's what it was. Okay. Um, okay. No, no, we're not throwing beads. If we reserve a hotel room, what is the cancellation policy? If you book a hotel room with the convention, it works exactly the same way that it did in St. Louis. I know that doesn't help you, Sarah, because you weren't there. Um, but what happens is you book your room, you use a credit card number to hold the room. They don't actually run anything on the card, but they keep the card on file because if you don't cancel, then there you go, you're going to get billed. But if you do cancel, I think it's at least 72 hours prior to the room, then you're perfectly fine and there's no problem. Okay. I do want to confirm the timeline on that, but I'm almost positive. Um, so I know for a fact that they confirmed the other day they do not run your card for any amount. Some hotels will run one day, some hotels will run the whole amount. This hotel, nope, they just take the credit card number down to hold the room, and that's it. If you don't show up, they run your card, and you don't cancel it. That's how it works. Okay, so there you go. Yeah, no, the parade idea, I'm actually extremely proud of. We have created a route throughout the entire convention space of the hotel. Because remember, our convention space is much larger than St. Louis's. We've created a walking path, and everybody will be scheduled a time, like a 10-minute time window to come down. And then literally you'll walk this parade route. And along the parade route, you'll see vendors, you'll see teachers, you'll see floaty award winners, you'll see all kinds of stuff. You'll see staff, you'll see all kinds of things. And what we'll do is basically present to you opening night float. There'll be entertainment. There'll be all kinds of stuff going on that throughout the course of this parade route that you will walk. Um, and I mean, it should probably take you 10, 15 minutes to walk the parade route. And then, I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about it. Yeah. Can somebody give me I don't need a score update. I need to know how much time is left in the game for your coupon code that is exclusive right now. Um, I'm really excited about it. Part of me, a little part of me, hopes we actually get to do it. Only a little part though. I'd much rather do opening night because believe me, if you know some of the other stuff we have in store for opening night, oh, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be big. I'm really excited. So either way, whatever route we go, I'm really looking forward to. But I really hope we don't have to do the parade. I actually, but again, it's okay. So there's 7 minutes and okay, roughly 8 minutes left of the game. Thank you to the 100 people that now responded. Okay, so just a reminder, that coupon code that I gave you tonight for football off of the float classes on the float website at Float Orange at the Orange Store, right? That 50% coupon is only, yes, Harley, I saw that. Thank you very much. It's only good till the end of the game. Once the game is over, the coupon code is gone. So take advantage of it. What coupon code? The coupon code is football. Football. Go to floatconvention.com. Go to the Orange Store. Any of those float classes on the Orange Store are 50% off until the end of the game if you use the coupon code football. Okay, there we go. So we got about 20 minutes or so left. I'd like to chat privately, or not privately, personally, very publicly, but personally about a topic that has got me a little bit down this week. And that is a trend that I'm seeing. When this all started back in March, I knew this was going to be a big deal. Um, you know, it's not very often that Alexa says to me, "You were right," because she didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal. Um, I did. I thought this was going to be a big deal, and I remember saying, um, "There's going to be some people gutted in this." Now, I was wrong initially. That in fact, most of us had, initially a lot of people had booms. People were doing really well, but now the reality of the situation has really sunk in. And I have spoken to two different people that I personally know and that have personally attended Float that are shuttering their doors and going out of business. One of them's here local, fairly local, that we bought a whole bunch of equipment frames from them just recently. And another one is a friend of mine down in California. Um, there's another person, it's kind of interesting, but I'll talk about this in a minute. But in both cases, both the individuals cited the dramatic influx of new people and their lack of business ethics as far as why they believe they're losing their businesses. And I don't know that they're wrong in that they're they're probably losing out on price point without question. But there's and I really feel for these people. I really truly do because okay, in one case they're not really going, they're just kind of pivoting their business. They decided, okay, we're dumping the balloon side of things, we're moving to a different thing. So they're not really out of business, they're just transitioning. The other one's absolutely out, like getting out and moving and everything. And I'm disappointed, but at the same time, if it's the right decision for them, then I applaud them, and they're doing something very difficult. And I'm going to make a statement that is not going to be popular, but in my opinion, and again, remember, all of this stuff is my opinion. In my opinion, it's legit. Get used to this. 10 years ago, the new wave of people that were coming in was because of YouTube. And everybody was upset that people weren't investing money and time in education because it was free for anybody who wanted it right there on in YouTube. Now, the problem is not only is there free education everywhere, but Etsy and Amazon and these cheap balloon manufacturers have made it frighteningly easy for anyone to basically run an illegal business. Um, you don't have to make an investment in anything anymore. You can buy a $25 inflator and a $10 kit of balloons that are already pre-counted out and ready to go, and now you're a professional. Get used to it because this isn't going anywhere. The only way this is going to end is if we go back to the way things were. And if you don't know what I mean, before the organic garland trend, balloons were considered tacky. Balloons hit their peak in the late 80s, early 90s, and then hit a 10, 15-year doldrums where they were cheap, they were tacky. You didn't, you couldn't, if you got balloons, it's because you couldn't afford decor. The only way all of this is going to go away is if we go back to that. And if we go back to that, you're still dealing with the same kind of price point concepts, except now you're dealing with the people that don't want balloons at their events because it would look tacky. So you kind of have to pull your punches and figure out what route you're going to go. Is it fair? No. Business ain't fair. It's never been. We have a code of ethics that we follow. The United States has a code of ethics it follows. Other countries don't follow those ethics. Other businesses don't follow the ethics that we do. New people in the beginning of this don't follow the same rules that we do. They don't have the same appreciation for what we've been through, what we've done, where we are, where we've gone to. They can't. Just like when I was brand new, I didn't. And I'll tell you right now, it's almost impossible, because again, if it hadn't been for the fact that balloons are cheap, I couldn't have started this business. My first wife and I were broke as hell when we started a balloon business. Thank God it took $50 in a helium tank, you know? So I don't want to judge too harshly on that, but at the same time, we didn't have YouTube. We didn't have all this stuff. We had to learn. But that's where we are now. You got to get used to it, and you got to be prepared for it, and you've got to find ways around it. And so tonight, I want to share 3 tips that I think can help you get around it. Hey, Teresa, 37 people. Paul Thiel just hit on the first one. Be unique. You have to focus on things that the kits can't do. Right now, balloon kits do one thing: organic garland, for the most part, right? We all know this. Those are the kits that are selling like hotcakes because a trained monkey can blow them up. You got to be better than a trained monkey. Okay? So think really long and hard about things you can do differently. The number one thing that most of you can do differently that the DIYers can't, or not the DIYers, but the brand new newbie DIYer people can't do, they don't have helium. They can't even get access to it right now unless they go to buy those cheapy tanks at the store. They got nothing. Most of the helium companies right now aren't taking on new clients. So that's an advantage you have right there. If you're offering helium-based decor, okay, that's something you can do that most of them can't do right now, period. Okay? That's one. Hello, Tiasha. That's number one. Number 2, there has never been a better time in your career to be aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. BEAGGRESSIVE, aggressive. Be aggressive. Woo! You've got to go after business right now. I've been just as guilty of that myself. I've been so distracted with float stuff. I have continually let balloon designers go by the wayside. And nothing frustrates Alexa more than seeing me work 6, 7, 8 hours on float and 15 minutes on balloon designers. And she's right to be mad about that. She's absolutely right to be mad about that. If you're sitting around waiting for the phone to ring, it's never going to ring. Got to get off your butt. Got to go look for more stuff. Got to go look for more stuff. Actually, Tristan, I don't know that they might be, but most of the people that I've spoken to can't get accounts. I've spoken to quite a few people who have actually called Airgas and they can't get an account right now. Maybe you can help them. So there you go. Yeah, if you're waiting for the phone to ring, if you're waiting for the phone to ring, you're not playing the right game right now. I will respond to an inquiry. If I'm up at 10 o'clock at night and an inquiry comes in, I'm responding to it right then and there. I bring my laptop home every night. And I do. And I respond to it right then and there. And people tell me, oh my God, you're crazy. No, I'm not. Do you know that when I respond to those emails at 10 o'clock at night, if I happen to be up or whatever, I almost always book them. And do you know why? Because they're amazed that somebody actually responded to them that late at night. I consider that being aggressive. Kathy, we're going to talk about that in just a second. So you've got to be more aggressive. Along these same lines, what Kathy just talked about, on these same lines, being aggressive, in my opinion, also means being more guarded. You need to stop giving so much free crap away. I get so frustrated. I've almost stopped going on Balloon Friends because every 5 minutes it's brand new questions, and people are just pouring the answers into their pockets. And then the same people are out griping that they're losing market share to newbies. Make them earn it. There is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong with you being protected. There's nothing wrong with you being protected and protective of what you're doing. Okay. Tristan made a point. So the manufacturer doesn't show you how to use their product. I don't think she's talking about manufacturers. I think she's talking about balloon people giving away content. Now, keep in mind, a lot of people are giving away content because that's their new revenue source. But that reminds me of something that I was going to talk about earlier, real quick. I'm going to get away from my third one here in just a second. I thought it really interesting that about a year and a half ago, I don't know, it was maybe just over a year ago, there was a gentleman posting in the different balloon groups about how he was going to be, we should have a pre-COVID balloon professionals group. We do. It's called the Float Forum. We do, Devorah. It's called the Float Forum. There you go. There was an individual bragging about how he was going to bring you to the motherland. He was going to bring you. He only did $5,000 jobs, and he didn't do these petty little jobs like everybody else. And he didn't do weekend entertainment, and he didn't do these little nickel and dime deliveries. He only did multi-$1,000 jobs, and you too can learn the way with his classes and blah 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 blah. And then yesterday, there's a post in Balloon Friends where all of his balloon stuff is for sale. Be careful who you follow. Be careful who your guru is. Tristan's point about manufacturers is different than Kathy's point. When people go to Home Depot or Lowe's, every weekend just about, they have free classes for you to learn how to make stuff, right? And why do they do that? Why do they do that? They do it because they want you to buy the equipment. So Qualitex, Vitalik, all those guys, they're still going to put out free content. They're going to do that because it's going to encourage people to buy their product. Kathy's not referring to the manufacturers. Kathy is referring to balloon people who are now trying to get SEO, who are trying to get all kinds of other stuff. They're trying to get revenue. They're trying to get whatever by giving away content. Now, I have one of two minds here, because on the one hand, I feel like it's their right to do so if they want to do so. Because if it's knowledge they attain, then they have every right to give it away if they want to give it away. I think it's stupid. But if that's what they want to do, let them do it. Okay? If they're trying to run a legitimate business, I think it's stupid. There's nothing wrong with guarding some of your own stuff. Okay? At the same time, people make money on it now. There are people out there with tens of thousands of followers on YouTube, subscribers, that get paid every time somebody opens up one of their videos. And they do it by giving away content. I mean, there's plenty of people doing it. And there's people doing it at the behest of manufacturers. Some of the people that everybody just loves and everything. Thank you, Dory. Thank you. It's going to happen. We can minimize it. Finally, the third point I want to bring up is be legit. What do I mean by that? What I mean is, I've had 2 conversations in the last 2 days with 2 different customers, or would-be customers, who called up, and the first thing out of their mouth is, I'm just price shopping. Okay, no problem at all. What can I do for you? I want to know how much this is. All right. Well, like I said, I'm not booking anything. I'm just price shopping. Okay. Well, that's not, and you should. I would never challenge somebody for price shopping. But I do want to give you some advice. I said, if you find somebody with a really low price, you should ask them one of 3 questions. Well, you should ask them 3 questions. You really should ask them 3 questions. You should ask them, number 1, can I see your website? Number 2, how do you take payment? And number 3, Can I please see a copy of your certificate of insurance? If they're offering to do the amount of work that I'm charging you $350 for, if they're willing to do it for 99 bucks, they're not going to answer yes to one of those questions. Well, not even yes, I'm sorry. What I tell people flat out, they say, what do you mean? Okay, well, it's very simple. If they don't have a website, if they're sending you to an Instagram feed or to a Facebook feed, and that's all they have, then chances are they're not willing to invest in their business. If they're not willing to invest in it, it also means they may have just started. Do you really want somebody who just started doing your work? Number two, asking them how they receive payment. Everybody's going cash apps now, right? Oh, just Venmo me the money. Just Venmo me. Why do they want you to Venmo the money? Because they don't want to have to claim it. They don't want to have to fill out actual legitimate paperwork. And again, if they disappear on you, you've got no remorse to get your money back because you sent them money as a friend. Oh, well, my friend sent me money. You don't get a refund on that. You don't. Ask PayPal. Send money to somebody via friends and family through PayPal, and then ask for your money back. You won't get it. PayPal will not give it back to you. No, you said you know this person. You said you're doing this. You don't get that money back. So if somebody's paying, if you're being told, can you send me this money through Venmo or whatever, you've got no recourse of getting it back if they don't show. And finally, in this day and age, do you really want anybody walking into your home that doesn't have insurance? Think about it. Right now, almost every event that's taking place in America is taking place in people's homes. Do you really want somebody walking in the front door who's not insured right now? What that has done, I'm telling you right now, nah, Charlie, a contract. No. I don't agree with. To be honest with you, I don't do contracts most times. I don't. We do an extensive email communication, but we don't do contracts. And contracts are only as good as long as people agree to those terms. If you make one little change to an order, you got a whole new contract you got to deal with. And it's just not worth it to me. But what I've done, well, see, Charlie, okay, so you're saying peace of mind. And I agree. What we do, again, we show people we've got a written communication back and forth. And I tell people this way, you've got written proof that we're going to do what we're going to do. Okay. Sorry, blanked out. Oh God, it's gone, completely gone. I was looking at something that somebody was just saying and everything else. Anyway, oh, so the two people that I spoke to, right after I got done with these communicate and explaining these three things to them, you could hear the tone change. So even if they don't call me back, even if they don't book with me, I've now put the fear of God in those people. And I'm okay with that. If they're going to choose to go with somebody who's dirt cheap because they want to save money, okay. But I want them to worry. I want them to spend the next 3 months constantly nagging that person, worrying that they're not going to show up, worrying, what if they damage my wall? I'm good with that. I'm really good with that. So those are the bits of advice that I would give to everybody right now. Stay strong, keep fighting, keep moving forward. Just keep it going. Just keep going. Just keep going if you can. And again, remember, this is the new norm. This isn't going away. It's not. Clients are going to continue to send you photos of $8 organic kits on Amazon. and not understand why you're charging 500. It's your job to explain to them. It's your job to explain to them why that kit is $7. And it's your job to explain to them why your worth is what it is. And again, stick really long and hard. Stick really long and hard. Focus very heavily on the things that you do that are different. And again, be aggressive. Go after that market. Go after the business. Don't be Steve Jones. Don't sit around and wait for it. Go after it. I've been too distracted with the wave of orange. How much time is left in the game? Because don't forget, your coupon code is expiring very soon. One last time for those of you that are new to the call, because there's a bunch of new people on the call. Until the football game is over, until the Super Bowl has ended, there is a coupon code right now. All Float Foundation and Float classes that were, except for Dante's, that are between $20 or $30 and $50 at the Orange Store are 50% off until the end of the game if you use the coupon code football. So make sure. What? 212. Thank you, Tristan. Thank you. Which means there's probably about 20 minutes left in the game. But yeah, so remember that you've got until the end of the game to use that coupon code football to save 50% off any of Float's digital downloads on the Orange Store. It's not good for all the other videos. Don't call me up going, but I wanted David Mahoney's. No, that's not in there. It's just the ones that say Float on them, but you can save 50% until the end of the game using the coupon code football. Okay. All right. They stole my pictures and sell kits with the wrong colors. Yep, they do that too. Yes, Betsy, I saw that. Thank you very much. There you go. So, oh, Tristan, I imagine you're quite disappointed right now because Mr. Brady is winning. Personally, I'm okay with the Pats fans taking it in the butt this year. And by butt, I mean like kicked in the butt. I don't mean anything more graphic than that. Okay. There we go. So let's recap really quickly. If you have more questions, by all means, throw it out there. But let's go over really quickly the other stuff real fast here. Just a reminder about the Float Foundation. If you took Dante's class, you have until Saturday, this coming Saturday, to watch it for free. After that, you'll have 1 week to buy it for $5. And then after that, it's up to $50 for you, just like everybody else. So make sure you take advantage of that. Melissa's class registration is going on now for Gear Up for Graduation. You are allowed to register up until February 21st. If you are a member of the Float Forum, I will post the coupon code again tomorrow in the Float Forum. If you are not a member of the Float Forum but are eligible for the pre-registration discount of $10 off the class, message me privately. I will gladly pass that on to you. If you are at least pre-registered for Float 2022, you are eligible for a free class in March with Jeff Kelly. So make sure that you're at least pre-registered for that so you can get involved. So pre-registering means you've at least paid part of your payment plan. Oh, one other thing I did forget to mention. One other thing I forgot to write down. Don't forget, there's a lot of you out there right now that have not paid a dime towards your 75 for 75 payment since June of last year. I hate to tell you this. Who's the guru that's, I'm not going to name names. You can search Balloon Friends and find it, unless he's already taken the post down. I am going to be reissuing the invoices tomorrow for everybody that still owes money. Some of you have not paid a dime since June. Now, don't get me wrong. I get it. That's your prerogative. And I made this very clear. You didn't have to. But what I'm going to tell you is everybody's going to wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. Then they're going to scream at me the last couple of days, I need more time. I need more time. You've had a year. As Stephanie Marquardt pointed out a couple of weeks ago, if all you did was pay $20 every month, you'd be almost done paying it off when June comes. So I can't believe for the life of me that you couldn't have come up with $20 a month. So at the end of the day, when June 1st comes, if you're not paid in full, with your 75 for 75 deal, then you are now subject to the $5.99 price point. So basically, everybody with an open invoice is going to get those again tomorrow. Okay. Don't forget, of course, we have our regular shows, right? Tomorrow night is TMI with Teresa Harding, which will be taking place at 5 o'clock Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern. We've got Tuesday night, we got Tuesdays with Tony, the virtual happy hour, again, starting at 5 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern time. And on Wednesday, we've got the Ladies of Working Wonders with their second part of their two-part episode about jobs and tools and equipment. And that'll be this Wednesday. And again, 5 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Float Network. But also don't forget that the flotation device with Tony and now Teresa will be starting up again very soon, interviewing float teachers as a podcast. And it's very possible that yours truly will have a new podcast starting as well soon in partnership with Sarah Meyer. So there's that kind of a thing. I want to remind everybody once again that we have a new office manager with Float. It's info@floatconvention.com. It's my niece Aphrodite. And don't be surprised in the next coming weeks if when you message me about responses or with questions and I respond to you with info@floatconvention.com, it means direct it there. I'm trying more and more and more now as Aphrodite gets trained more and more into the float meanderings. She's going to take over more and more responsibilities. So there's that. I will not be, you can't text me at 3 a.m. expect me to answer questions. Not going to happen. And finally, the last bit of float news that we talked about tonight, I just want everybody to start preparing for what I believe is the inevitable. It is my belief that you will be required to wear a mask at Float 2022. We haven't decided yet. We've not made a final decision, but the CDC is now predicting that they're now predicting we're going to be having mask mandates for years. So there's that. So I'm just telling everybody right now, start getting ready for it. I'm not suggesting that it's a lock. Believe me when I say, I certainly hope I don't have to do it either. I hope we don't have to wear them, but be ready if we do. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. All right. So with that being said, how much time is left in the game? 1 minute. 1 minute. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be the winners. Okay. So I'm guessing Tampa Bay got the ball and they're just going to run out the clock. So with that being said, as soon as this step chat's over, I'm going to disengage the coupon code. So you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. You got 5 minutes. 5 minutes for those of you that just found out about it. 5 minutes. Floatconvention.com. Go to the orange store. Use the coupon code football. I'm going to go even better. You have 9 minutes. 9 minutes to use that code. Once at 7:20 my time, which is what, 10:20 East Coast time. Wait, is it over? Is the game over? Nope. Okay, I'm still going to give it to you. Still going to give it to you. You got 8 minutes now. 8 minutes. Floatconvention.com. Go to the orange store. Pick any class that you want that's listed on the orange store. Click on it. Use the coupon code football. 50% off that video until 7.5 more minutes to go. All right. Like I said, if you're watching this during the replay, sorry. No, I'm just teasing it. But no, you're too late for the coupon code. Don't go now. It's over. Too late. Can't get it. You're watching this on Monday. I appreciate you, but sorry. I was jealous. What can I say? Just kidding. All right. Hey, you guys, do me a favor. Keep being incredible. Keep being awesome. Because you are. This isn't me blowing smoke up your butt. This is me being serious. I know we talk all the time about frustrations and aggravations and all kinds of stuff. But at the end of the day, I love being a servant for you guys. I really do. The very first Oingo Boingo concert I ever went to was in Los Angeles at the then Fabulous Forum. It was 1986. And the lead singer, Danny Hoffman, the lead singer, Danny Hoffman, who, by the way, is an orchestral composer now for motion picture soundtracks and the whole nine yards. He is the singing voice of Jack Skellington in The Nightmare Before Christmas. He did the original Avengers themes. He's done almost every Tim Burton movie. He did the original Batman theme, which if you saw Justice League, you heard again for the first time in decades. He did the theme for The Simpsons. They sang one or two songs, and then he came out on stage, and thank you, Charlie, and said, "We are your humble servants for the evening." And that resonated with me forever, because that was my first impression of this live band that I had been in love with for 5-6 years. I truly feel flattered to be your servant in this capacity. And so it means a lot to me that you support Float the way you do. I feel like this is something I can do to help the industry that I love. And I really hope that you guys are doing well. I hope that you're staying safe. And I hope that you're doing everything you can do to keep going, because when this is all over, I think we're in store for a hell of a party. You guys take care of yourselves. I'll see you next week.